All right, good people. Good people. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just doing this video pretty raw because, one, I don't feel like editing anything today. So, if you've been wondering where I've been, my YouTube people that have been watching me, whoever you are, uh, so I was supposed to be uploading something about a week ago, following up on an Instagram post that talked about some serious stuff, uh, specifically with mental health and things like that. Some breakthroughs, miracles, actually, some good things that were really, really good. But I didn't do that. Instead, I actually decided to go to Japan. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm walking through the neighborhood I'm living in at the moment. I'm in Tokyo, specifically in Shinjuku. So, yeah, been jumping around this whole crazy town with Airbnbs and stuff. Really cool story to that. But anyways, yeah, I just figured I'd come at you guys tonight because it's about to be Sunday, so it's kind of when I'm. That's when I want to drop videos every week. I think Sunday's the day. It's just gonna be the day, so I'll do that. But yeah. So for today's talk, I'd like to talk about spontaneity in life. Okay, so we've covered a couple of vague, so to speak, topics. I mean, like they weren't really super vague, right? But it was like they definitely were more along the lines of, just the way we look at things, just perspective. Now today, talking about spontaneity in life. Okay, I say that while I just decided to hop on a plane ride to Japan, and coming out here was an experience. I've been here for about a week and some change now, and most of this has just been played right off the cuff, man. I mean, I made some plans in my head, of where I'd be and like what I'd see and stuff like that, but I didn't really like write it all down and go like, hey, I'm gonna go to this place, I'm gonna go to that place, I'm gonna be here, blah blah blah. Right? It just wasn't the plan. You know what I mean? Like, because I came here solo, so for my birthday. So yeah, there's that. I'm turning 30, yay! But anyway, so yeah, you know, it was kind of spontaneous coming here, and honestly, it was totally worth it. Totally worth it because I've been loving every second of being in this place. Okay, it's just been awesome. Okay, there's been times when like you run into dilemmas and whatnot, but that's part of life. You know what I mean, and that's what makes it spicy. So it was really cool, and just based off of that spontaneity. So how does this fit? How does that fit into this whole scenario? Well, what comes out of your life, okay? Everyone knows, you're going to be coming across all sorts of things, whether it's problems, people with problems, or problem people, you know. And that's just going to be a continuance throughout life. The question is whether or not you're willing to accept those things for what they are, right? And when I say for what they are, I don't necessarily mean like, okay, I'm going to cut off real quick because I'm going to my building, so I'll finish the rest of the apartment. Okay, so we're back. All right, where was I? Yeah, the spontaneity of life, right? It's like, when it comes down to it, you got like, there's a lot of people out there, like we talked about in the last video, where everybody's in these different categories, right, of life, where it's like some people are just kind of NPCs going around doing their daily dozens and they're happy with that, and other people are not. And you got people living out there with purpose and they're doing the things that they want to do and they're going the places they want to go. Is my air conditioner even on? I don't know. It feels cool enough in here, but yeah, it's summertime technically. Yeah, it's the beginning of September, so fall's gonna happen pretty soon. In fact, on my birthday, ironically. But yeah, so just here in my Japanese apartment. But yeah, sweating, dude. It's not that bad outside right now, but the humidity's gone up a lot because of the fact that there was a typhoon the other day. But yeah, so spontaneity, right? Like dealing with people and dealing with life. Right, we run into the monotony of things and we allow ourselves to fall into this weird like rut of who we think we are. Like, whether it's, and a lot of times people think that their identity is their responsibilities, and meaning, like, literally, like, they think it's like when somebody survives cancer, right? Somebody survives cancer, and like, what do they end up doing? They put like, I survived cancer stickers on things, or like a cancer survivor or whatever, and like, you know, or you could put that label on anybody. I'm not trying to attack cancer survivors. I don't think every one of them's like that, but you know, you see it with people, right, that have been through things. I mean, one category of people I can talk about pretty well is veterans, right? Because I'm a veteran. I did my time in the Army. I did a combat rotation, you know, to the Middle East, and technically a combat rotation, like, but other conversation. So, point is, it's like I did my time. I don't, like, it was so long ago, I don't even know how to categorize it anymore. But yeah, this is a different life, man, which is another topic of discussion, right? Like, you know, changing. But yeah. So veterans, they like to put you know, their accolades on their cars and their stickers, they'll wear the shirts and they'll have the hats, like, you know, and it's, in a weird sense, it's almost like reliving the glory days, right? And that's just one way of looking at it. But another way, like, of seeing it is just the same as everyone else. Is like, we're identifying with the responsibilities that we had at the time, right? We identify with the responsibilities that we have now. Like, you know, my brother, for example, just had a kid. And now all his shirts say dad, and he has a mug that says dad, you know, and everybody's like, hey, dad, you know, and that's just who he is now, right? But really, you know, like Ram Dass likes to say, it's like, you know, there's a freedom in being nobody, you know what I mean? And there really is, right? And the cool part is about being nobody is that, and I'm not saying you got to drop every single thing that you have in your life going on. Like, if you're happily married, if you're happy in your job, or you're like doing things you love or whatever, right? Like, you don't have to drop all that stuff. What I'm saying is, it's like, you can go about your daily life just being you and who you are, like, and without all the stuff attached to that, you know. So there's a beauty in that. There's a freedom in that. In fact, it's almost like living in the moment, right? So, like, you ever gone to a party and you talk to somebody there that's just been sitting, and while you're talking to them, you know, you spark a good conversation. They talk about different stuff. You talk about different stuff and everything. When like, by the time the conversation's over, you realize you didn't say a thing about yourself or what you do, and they didn't tell you a thing about what they do or themselves, right? And you didn't even catch their name, and you kind of don't care, you know what I mean? But you just enjoy the fact that you were there in the moment with somebody, sharing ideas, talking about things, right? That made you feel different. And that's the beauty of it, right? And that's a spontaneous event, you know, that happens right then and there. So, long story short, you know, when it comes to like breaking the monotony, breaking out of your shell, breaking out of you know, the ruts that we find ourselves in life, you know, sometimes spontaneity is the answer. Sometimes it is. Now, I'm not saying go out there and, like, you know, set your house on fire, or like do something crazy or anything like that, or, you know, whatever, like, you could name it, okay? Like, just a million different things you could do, okay? Like, and I'm not, and that goes for even the softer things too. Like, I'm not saying, like, you know, you don't even, like, people take this the wrong way. It's like, oh, well, maybe I should talk to that person or do this thing or like whatever. No, okay, like, it's like there's you know, there's reason and sense to this stuff. But yeah, there's you know, you got to go with the things that excite you. It's like I've become like kind of a weird kind of become a weird fan of Bashar. You know, like, I don't really get the whole like I'm an alien incarnate thing, but it's like I could definitely get with a lot of the things that he's saying because it makes sense, you know. And honestly, I've been applying it to my own life, and it makes me feel good. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't really have a problem with it. You know what I mean? So it's just, that, and one of the things he says is like, do the thing that excites you, and do it to the umpteenth degree that you can go with it, as as within integrity, with integrity, and then don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, you get to that point and you're good, and like things will start to show up for you. And honestly, man, I mean, I've been taking that advice to heart, and it's changed so many things for me. And it does feel like a spontaneous event every single time I do it, because I just came out of a portion of my life where I was stuck for like over a decade, and mentally and emotionally, and quite frankly on a neuroscientific level, physically, like, and I've changed so much, and like it just feels like every day is something new and special, and that's the beauty of it, man. So it's, and I'm getting to know myself again, which is great. So anyways, guys, I figured I'd leave you with that message. Okay, it's about like, I don't know, 10 minutes long or something like that. Just leave a like, comment, and share, and subscribe, and press the little notifications button if you want. All right, so that way you can see me ramble whenever I do post, which will be every Sunday now, I promise. Okay, pinky promise. It's just been a wild week, guys. Anyways, take care, be blessed.